Have you ever found yourself searching for the right word in the middle of a story? Or perhaps you walk into a room and for a moment you forget what you came for. It happens to all of us at some point. Maybe that little slip worries you. Maybe, like me, you wonder, is there something more I should be doing? Or something I shouldn't be doing to keep my mind healthy as the years go by? Today, I'd like to gently take your hand and talk through 7 everyday mistakes, small habits, often unnoticed, that can quietly harm our brain after 65. You might be surprised by how simple some of them are and how easy it is to turn things around. I'm Albert, and this is Golden Age Wisdom, a place where we talk heart to heart about living our best years with kindness, courage, and just a little extra know-how. Let's sit together a while and have an honest chat about our minds and the small things that can make all the difference. No lectures, no complicated medical talk, just the sort of good advice you might share at the kitchen table with an old friend. Today, we're covering 7 daily mistakes that can slowly damage our brains as we get older. Some you may recognize, a few may surprise you. My hope is that, together, we can spot the things to watch for and gently, kindly, make changes that help our minds stay clear, lively, and strong. Let's get comfortable, maybe with a warm cup of tea at hand, and begin. The first mistake is something that almost sneaks up on all of us in retirement. It's a silent thing. Let's call it the quiet trap. The habit of skipping out on social connection. I remember my old friend Harold. We used to play chess every Wednesday at the library. After his wife, Lucy, passed on, Harold became quiet. The phone would ring, and he wouldn't answer. He'd shrug off invitations, saying he was too tired or just not in the mood. Sometimes I'd just walk over, bring a pie or some photos from our old fishing trips. We'd sit in silence sometimes, but with another soul in the room, the world felt a little bigger. What I've learned is, our minds, much like a garden, need regular tending from the people around us. Without the sunshine of connection, they can slowly start to wilt. It's easy to let the days slip by. Maybe you have a partner, and you've both grown used to quiet routines. Or, perhaps, after a lifetime of busyness, things have simply slowed down. It might seem peaceful at first, but silence, when it goes on too long, can be just as unhealthy for our brains as skipping a meal. You see, conversations, whether it's chatting with a neighbor over the fence or laughing with grandkids at the park, light up the brain in countless ways. Every idea, every memory shared, nudges our minds awake and keeps those little pathways alive. So, my gentle advice, even if it feels easier to stay in, try to pick up the phone once in a while or join a group, even a small one. Maybe it's a knitting circle, a book club, or just morning coffee with an old friend. The brain is, in so many ways, a social organ. When we connect, we grow stronger. And let me ask you, friends, is there a habit or routine you've found helpful to stay connected over the years? I'd love for you to share it in the comments below. Sometimes, the smallest stories can spark big changes for someone else. Now, let's move on to the second daily mistake. It's one many of us know about, but often slip into as the seasons change or when aches and pains keep us near our favorite chair. It's the sitting spell, moving too little and too often. I think about my neighbor, Ruth. Ruth loves her television mysteries, and who can blame her? But she noticed after a while that her legs started to feel heavy. She felt foggy in the morning. We chatted about it, and she said, "Albert, I realized I can get up during the commercials. It isn't much, but I walk around the kitchen and look out at my roses." Small steps, but remarkable results. Our bodies and brains are like an old steam engine. If you leave it sitting too long, the parts grow stiff, the fire burns down, and soon enough, it struggles to even get rolling. Every little bit of movement is a stoking of the fire. Science aside, I'll tell you this from personal experience. A brisk walk around the block, stretching while you wait for the kettle, or a bit of gardening on a sunny day, all do more than keep you agile. They gently send fresh blood, more oxygen, up to your brain. That's like giving your mind a fresh breeze. It doesn't have to be a marathon. Even if your knees aren't what they used to be, every little movement adds up. Some days I simply raise my arms a few times, roll my ankles, walk to the mailbox, or put on a beautiful song and sway in the kitchen. Don't let a whole day go by without moving your body in kindness, even just a little. If you like, tell me what your favorite movement or daily walk is. I'd love to hear about your routines in the comments. Maybe you'll inspire someone else who needs a gentle push. As we keep going, let me gently remind you, if these conversations lift your spirits or spark an idea, feel free to subscribe to our little circle here. I'd be honored to walk alongside you on this journey of wisdom and well-being week by week. Now, the third mistake, and this may be a hard one to admit, is starving the mind, not feeding curiosity each day. It's so easy, especially after leaving the working world, to let our routines become too familiar. Same route to the market, same crossword puzzle in the morning, same newspaper. We're creatures of comfort, after all. But the brain, like an old radio, needs regular tuning and a touch of new music once in a while. Otherwise, the signal grows weaker. Let me tell you about Bill, an old friend of mine who picked up painting for the first time at 72. "Albert," he said, "I never knew I had it in me. I see the sky differently now. I'm always looking for colors. My mind's humming." What Bill discovered is that learning, at any age, is food for the mind. Every new skill, every little discovery, stretches your mind and keeps it supple, just like a well-loved leather glove. This doesn't mean going back to math lessons or studying thick textbooks. It could be as simple as trying a new recipe, learning a few words in a new language, reading about the town next door, or listening to a new kind of music. Anything that nudges your mind beyond its well-worn paths will help keep you sharp, and sometimes delighted. Maybe you have a hobby you've been meaning to try, or a story you've wanted to write. Perhaps you've always wanted to grow tomatoes or knit a scarf. There's no deadline, no prize except the sparkle you'll notice in your mind after a little curiosity is fed. Let's now turn to the fourth mistake, and this is one that can sneak into our days without us noticing. I call it sipping on worry, letting stress linger unchecked. Dorothy, my cousin from Ohio, used to say, "I don't stew, Albert, I just let things simmer." The trouble is, even a slow simmer over weeks and months can fill your brain with a fog, making you forgetful, irritable, or just plain weary. Our generation grew up in times when we pushed through troubles. We handled them quietly. But I've learned that the storms in the mind, when we ignore them, can wear us down as surely as rain wears away stone. Chronic stress, even if we think of it as just nerves or a little worry, can quietly harm the brain. It's like pouring a little cup of vinegar each day into a delicate teacup. Over time, that cup will lose its shine. What can we do? It's not about pretending troubles don't exist, but it can help to find small ways to set burdens down, even briefly. I sometimes sit on my porch, close my eyes, and listen only to the birds. Or I write my worries down on paper, fold it up, and put it aside with a prayer. That's my way of saying, "I see you, worry, but I'm more than you." Talking with a friend, spending time with a beloved pet, practicing a few moments of deep breathing, even sharing a gentle laugh. These are all little tools we can use to keep worry from settling too firm a grip on the mind. If you'd like to share your own way of letting worries go, I invite you to leave a note in the comments. You never know whose day you might brighten. Let's gently move to the fifth mistake, and this is a sneaky one. Shortchanging sleep, dismissing rest as unimportant. There was a time, not too long ago, when people wore their sleeplessness like a badge of honor. "I'll sleep when I'm dead," Bill used to chuckle. Well, when it comes to our brains, a little more sleep is really a blessing. Sleep is like a soft rain at night, clearing away the dust and giving every flower in the mind a chance to bloom fresh the next day. When we skimp on it, or let worries keep us tossing and turning, clutter builds up in our thoughts. Words come harder, decisions feel heavier, the mind stumbles. I'll admit, I've struggled with sleepless nights myself. What's helped me, and what many experts seem to agree on, is keeping a gentle routine. Going to bed at the same hour each night, dimming the lights as dusk falls, even sipping a little chamomile tea, reading a favorite book. If you wake up in the night, it can help to listen to soothing music or try a short relaxation exercise rather than watching the clock. And if sleep troubles keep lingering, it's always wise to mention it to a trusted doctor. There are ways to help. Give yourself permission to rest fully. Think of it as a gift to your mind, a nightly clearing and a kindness to yourself. Now, for the sixth mistake, one that's hard to admit but vital to name: ignoring what you eat, forgetting that food shapes the mind. Growing up, many of us lived on simple, home-cooked fare. Our meals weren't perfect, but they rarely came from a box or a drive-through window. These days, it's easy to reach for quick packaged snacks or sugary treats. But here's something to remember. Every meal is another little message to the brain. Fresh vegetables, fruits, a piece of fish, or a handful of nuts all help to build a healthier, clearer mind. On the other hand, too many processed foods or a diet heavy in sugar and unhealthy fats can muddle the mind over time. I think of a friend of mine, Evelyn, who started adding blueberries to her oatmeal every morning after reading about their brain-boosting powers. She swears she notices a difference. Maybe it's the blueberries. Maybe it's simply the joy of tending to herself. Either way, it's a reminder that the small choices add up. If cooking feels tiresome some days, try to make it simple. A salad with beans, a soup with lentils and carrots, a slice of whole grain bread. Even little changes to cut back on salt, extra sugar, or fried food can make a difference after a while. And don't forget to drink water. Many of us, as we age, begin to lose our thirst. But the brain is like a riverbank. It needs a gentle, steady flow of water to keep memories and thoughts moving easily. Do you have a favorite healthy meal or snack? Let me know in the comments. We can all learn from each other. Finally, the seventh mistake is perhaps the loneliest one, but one I speak to with all my heart. Giving up on purpose, letting the days drift by. After retirement, or after losing a partner or friends, the shape of our days can change. Without work or others to care for, each morning may feel emptier. But when purpose fades, the mind can start to wander and weaken, much like a ship with no rudder. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be organizing a parade or writing a novel. Sometimes it's as small as a promise to tend a garden, to check on a neighbor, to write a letter to a grandchild, or to share a bit of wisdom with someone younger. A dear friend of mine, Dorothy, a sharp-witted lady with a heart of gold, volunteers at the local library reading stories to children. She told me, I may be old, Albert, but when I look into their faces, I feel useful. I remember who I am. Purpose can mean hope, even if you're only hopeful for the next nice meal, the next phone call with a loved one, or to finish a puzzle. Without it, the mind can settle into a fog. So ask yourself gently, what brings me a sense of meaning? If you're unsure, try something new. Even small responsibilities, watering a plant, caring for a pet, or learning a new skill, can give the days shape and value. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our 7 gentle warnings, our little foxes in the vineyard of golden years. Before we finish, let me wrap this up with a few loving words. If today's chat made you reflect or gave you an idea, I truly hope you'll leave a comment. Maybe share a habit that's kept your mind sharp or comforted your heart. Your stories matter. You never know how they might touch someone else in our circle. And if you'd like to continue these gentle conversations, I'd be humbled if you'd subscribe to our little community, like this video, or even share it with a friend who might benefit. More than numbers, it's about having more kindred spirits gather. That's what keeps me coming back here, week after week. Please, remember, every day is a gift, no matter how many candles are on the cake. Our minds are precious, and it's never too late to tend to them with hope, curiosity, self-kindness, and a little courage. Let me know before you go. What's one small habit that's helped your mind in recent years? I'd love to hear your stories of resilience, creativity, or connection. Thank you truly for your time, your trust, and your company today. Until next time, this is Albert at Golden Age Wisdom, wishing you peace, purpose, and more bright days on your journey. Take care, friends.